Can you be brave and discuss who is the GOAT of road race cycling between Merckx and Poggy? But certainly if someone proper flicked me, I'd be like, right, they're in the book.
I'm Luke Rowe from Cardiff, and I will get my vengeance.
In this life or the next.
Is there anyone that you would have been like, well, I'd just flick him because it's him?
Yeah. Probably a few. What's occurring, Bat?
What's occurring? Brought to you by Ruvie.
Yeah, don't forget we're working with Ruvie this winter.
Head to Ruvie and use the code WATTS for additional 30-day free trial when you sign up for the first time. The code is valid for single monthly subscriptions and new subscribers only.
Ruvie is on a mission to bring the indoors to the outdoors, connecting you with real routes from around the world to your home. And now summer is over, you can utilise Ruvie to do specific training sessions without having to brave the cold outdoors.
And our What's Occurring group rides are live now, every Wednesday, so make sure you come and join the community on Ruvie.
So use code WATTS for an extra month on us when you subscribe to Ruvie for the first time. Cheers.
Slightly different pod today, mate. We've had, we asked for a few questions and we certainly got that. So producer George has made the list. So this pod, we're just going to be knocking out a load of listeners' questions. So I'll kick it off, shall I?
Hit it.
Who are the toughest men you have raced against? I don't mean the fastest. I mean the dudes who you wouldn't mess with to battle in the trenches during a race. He just means, hard guys, basically. Or the guy who could tough it out in any weather or race conditions.
I think the general consensus is probably wrong in that straight away people go like, oh, who's that big, tough classics guy or sprinter, or like to look at, like a Stannard or a Boonen or a big, tough classics guy, like nailing it across some cobbles. But I reckon that would be the answer most people will give, but which I reckon is wrong. I reckon it's the GC guys, and it's not to blow smoke up your arse, G, but it's them. It's them for sure. First of all, the preparation they go through is to prepare for a Grand Tour is harder than to prepare for the classics. And also the mental strain on a GC guy. If you go in with 8 blokes, most of the time it's all on one person's shoulder.
Mm.
If they're successful, the team's successful. If they're not successful, the whole team's not successful. So it's all on that one person. And for a classic, you turn up one day, sign on, lay it all out there for 5-6 hours. A GC guy's got to do that 21 times. A sprint rolling along, they're not rolling along because they can't risk anything. Their Grand Tour can be over any kilometre of the 3,500. So for me, the mental resilience of the GC guys in both the preparation and the races, they're the toughest guys. So a name is tough. I mean, the ones I worked with, you, Egan, Froome, the obvious 3. And again, it's not just because we're on this call. It's the GC guys. Yeah,
no, I agree with that. Although I would say the classics and stuff, those boys are tough though. Like Stannard on the bike is tough, isn't he? But then off it, he's just a big, softy, like a big elephant that's scared of a mouse type thing. You know what I mean? Like he's just like such a nice guy. Like you just wouldn't. He's got 2 different personas. A bit like me in a way, like when I'm on the bike racing, I'm totally different to when I'm just sat here chatting to you. But yeah, when it comes to like bad weather and stuff, it's always like, oh, these boys are hard. Like, because the hard ones are the Spanish guys who have to do it. They hate it, but still do it well. You know what I mean? It's not like the guys from Norway when they all finish whatever race it was, when it was freezing cold, and was it Flesh or something, and it was only X to finish as a full team.
Welsh person won.
Like they're obviously tough, when it's cold and things, but if that's what you like, or dislike less than everyone else, you got an advantage, really. If I'm making sense there, like when it's super hot, 40 degrees, I'd love to see X do it then. I'm not saying they're not tough either, but what I'm saying is just like people are just built differently, so just doing it purely off, bad weather, which I get why you would, but yeah, there's a lot of factors that come into it. And like, yeah, the mental strain is a lot as a GC, but you know, guys that just keep coming back. You know, it's a guy like it's a worker for me, a domestique who rides, gets spat, comes back on the descent, fights his way back up through the peloton, rides again, or just in the front of your bubble or whatever, then gets spat the next climb, comes back again. They're the boys that you'd go to battle with, so to speak. He's never going to.
So you're saying me and I'm saying you.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of another example that's not you, but
do you know what? If we're saying that, so if you're saying it's more like the domestique guys who do that, and I'm saying it's more the GC guys, mate, if I have a bad day, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. Like, I've had bad days, and I've, you know, in a grand tour, and it's like, right, we got one less guy to help. Instead of 7 guys supporting the one, we got 6 guys because Luke's gone. If you have a bad day, you've let yourself down. I sound like a dad now. You let yourself down.
I know.
The 7 riders down, the team down, the
your
fans down, the sponsors
you let
down.
the whole of Wales down.
You have, though. All of that is relying on the leader. If I have a bad day, Luke had a bad day.
Yeah.
So mental strength, like. And the only other thing I want to add to that question is you get some riders slightly tougher than the other, but every professional cyclist is tough. There's no, I mean, you get some, you go, oh, they're not. They crashed and they made a mountain out of a molehill, or they gave up a little bit too soon there. They could have bit the bullet for a little bit longer, but they're all tough.
Yeah, apart from that one dude. Remember the helicopter shot when there's a crash and I don't know who he was, maybe from CCC. He just gets off his bike, lies it down.
He's a pussy.
Or just clever, just wanted to you know.
No, he's a pussy.
Go on.
Don't know who he is.
Right, you read the next. That was from Tim Wood, by the way, but you read the next
Hang
one.
on, you should explain that actually, because not everyone will have seen that.
Yeah, so was it in the final? I don't know if it was or not, but it was at some point of a bike race.
10K.
Big crash, and there was this guy who's kind of like just off the back, misses it all, but wanted to just maybe have an excuse. I don't know. Maybe wanted to go, maybe just wanted to go, I don't know, get the same time. That's why I think maybe it was in the final. He wanted the same time at the front, but didn't have to keep going. He basically just gets off his bike, lies the bike down, nice and gently, and then just lies on the floor like he's crashed as well. All caught on camera from the helicopter.
He forgot there was a helicopter. Yeah. I mean, good on him. That first question was off Tim Wood, by the way. Second question is off Ruth Rod, who makes the best Welsh cakes around. Does Geraint still have his 2 pooches, and how is Luke's K9 edition Maverick settling into the Rowe family? I'll let you go first.
I'd say still have them loosely. They're still alive, but we don't keep them alive. They were Sar's mum and dad. Sar bought Blanche, the first one, when I was at Worlds in Australia. Come back. It's like, oh, we got to go to, where was it now? It was somewhere like Derby or something. No, or somewhere up north, somewhere Leeds or somewhere. We were living in Manchester. Like, we got to go there, pick up a dog. I was like, what? You actually bought it? So, yeah. So we went there, picked up this dog. We had it, Blanche, for about a year, but then we were traveling a lot, obviously, and Sar's mum and dad looked after her for a bit. And then they make out like we left it with them, but they wanted to keep her, basically. So we were like, yeah, okay, you deal with her. And then they ended up buying another dog then as well to keep Blanche company.
What's that? What's the second one name? Pam.
Off Gavin and Stacey, yeah. Pamela.
My K9 journey hasn't gone quite as smoothly. We agreed to take on a dog off a friend of a friend, Maverick. I was purely sold by the name, didn't want a dog. Kath wanted a dog, kids wanted a dog, and then they said it's called Maverick, and I was like, sign me up.
Here's a question from Steve. I would just say that Bard.
We'll go with that.
Love the podcast. Without naming names, or if you want to, it would be fun. Are there riders who are generally disliked in the peloton that you wouldn't make space for, or were chased down if they tried to go off the front without it being team orders? Whoa. I don't ever chase anyone down because I didn't like them. But there are certain people you would just like, if they're trying to squeeze past you, just like, nah, I'll keep this door closed. Or even close the door. Did that to Terpstra once.
Yeah, for sure.
He was trying to come past and he was on the right, and then we're coming into like a a banner, like, I don't know what it was, 3K to go or 2, and there was like, you know, the barriers sort of come in the road, and I had him there on my hip, and he's trying to get past and trying to like squeeze in, and I just wasn't moving. He was like, G, and I'm like, mate, like, we're coming into the final, I'm not moving. This isn't because it's him, really, but I'm not moving, mate. You're gonna have to brake. And the last minute, they have to brake and kept behind me, and because the barriers were coming in and stuff. But that's just bike racing, really. But if I'd liked him, as in, yeah, not disliked him, but if it was Caleb or Sam Bennett or I don't know, one of these boys, then I would have moved. But 95% of the peloton, you just racing, innit?
Yeah, I think there's two questions there. Chase the rider down if you try to go in the breakaway, no, but in terms of who you make room for, there's definitely different rules for different people. We've got friends in other teams, and yeah, you definitely make room for certain people more than other people. But like you say, 95% of riders are all in one category, which is dog eat dog, really. I think throughout my career, I made probably very few friends because I wasn't in the sport to make friends, and probably more enemies than I did friends, to be honest, which is something I look back and think I wish I wasn't such a dick. But
to be fair though, that was part of your job. You were kind of that guy who had to box on for me almost to keep me at the front. So it's a hard one, isn't it? You can't exactly be the nice guy doing that. But
I think, there's certain people, and like I would, if someone flicked me, I would go, right, okay, I know exactly who you are. I'm not going to get you back now, but I will flick you at some point for the rest of the season. I don't know how. Maybe it might just be following a break to stop them going, or maybe it might just be, you could make a bit more room for them, but you choose not to. But certainly if someone proper flicked me, I'd be like, right, they're in the book.
I'm Luke Rowe from Cardiff, and I will get my vengeance.
Luke Rowe from Cardiff, in this life or the next. Yeah, but I think like you and I both said there, it's 95% of the whole peloton in the same category, where you want to give respect and you don't want to cause an incident or an argument, but when it's crunch time, it's like, I'll stand my ground.
Yeah, it's just doing it the right way, innit? Like, you still got to be respectful.
And also you got to remember, if you go to war with someone and you go, right, just going to flick them and do something stupid or, whatever, you're probably going to race them maybe the next day, certainly the next week, definitely in the next month. It's a smaller world. You race the same boys, so it's a balance.
Is there anyone that you would have been like, well, I'd just flick him because it's him?
Yeah. Probably a few. Do you know what? Who I did flick? People who had been positive and came back to the sport. I would just ride through them. And go out of my way to do it. So if somebody was in the peloton, cheat, black and white, they got caught and came back to the peloton. And I don't understand why every rider didn't do this, because then it would make their life hell. Because they don't deserve to come back, in my point. Yeah. If it's black and white and you've been done for something, and they're next to me, I'm just going to ride through them. And if they shout something, normally they don't, because they know they haven't got a leg to stand on. That's probably the only category of rider I was like, I don't give a fuck about them. You've cheated me, you've cheated the sport. Fuck you. And imagine every rider had the same mentality. Imagine you got caught for drugs, you were cheating, scumbag, come back to the sport, you're on the start line with 160 riders and all of them treated you like shit, which is all you deserve. You wouldn't want to be in that peloton for long.
Exactly.
You could just bully them out of the sport, back to where they belong. Got a bit into that one, didn't I? Quite passionate about that. This question is off Jessica Bastock. Can you be brave and discuss who is the GOAT of road race cycling between Merckx and Poggy? I am not a Poggy fan or UE fan, but I think given the age of cycling we are in, he is the best there has ever been. And another one, do we need under 23 championship races and the white jersey anymore? As the pro riders are getting younger, are they losing their value? So 2 questions there. First of all, GOAT.
Well, we can smash this one out pretty quickly. I think, Pog the GOAT.
Yeah.
Like, we speak about it every
pod 21 of the last 5 pods.
Yeah. So, but with the under 23s, I think it is still beneficial because only if Sexist and these dudes don't come back and race it, in my opinion. Like once you turn pro for a world tour team, like you're pro, just go off and race. Like under 23 should be about amateur cyclists trying to gain a contract, like learning their trade, racing, and trying to get a contract. I think a white jersey in the tour is a bit different because, most of those guys are in that category as well. But I think it has lost a bit of significance, that just because Pog's been winning it all the time, and now I don't know, Remco or someone or whoever is in for it. But when it comes to under 23 racing, though, it still has a place. Just the cycling world has just changed, hasn't it? Like it's just a younger and younger game. Like 20-year-olds know how to train properly, race properly, like eat properly, got all the best kit. You know, they've got agents when they're 15, 16. It's just everything's shifted down a couple of years compared to like when we started. So that's been a big change, but I think there's still, because people still develop at different rates. Like you're still going to get guys now that are going to be at their best when they're 30, and they just take a bit longer to develop. So
I got two little things to add. First of all, in terms of the under 23 category, there is a new rule being brought in. They released the UCI released the rules a week or so ago, and once you're pro, you can no longer race down.
I like that.
So that is a thing of the past, which I agree with. My only other change would be, so white jerseys in Grand Tours under 25, I think you could change it to under 23. Knock it down a couple of years. You know, a 24-year-old or performing in a Grand Tour, it's not that young. If they knocked it down a couple of years instead of under 25 to under 23, maybe it has a bit more of a voice.
Or like we said on the pod a few years ago, grey jersey for over 30.
Grey jersey.
No?
Over, I think you'd have to go older,
34.
wouldn't you? 35? 34?
Maybe 35. There's not many anymore, though. They're dwindling, mate.
No.
Next one, Glenn Ramsey. How much difference do modern bikes make? Could Poggy win on an old bike?
Modern is a loose phrase. I mean, what era are we talking about here? God, there's a huge difference, though. If you look at what you won the Tour on versus what Poggy won the Tour on. You know, now it's got to the point where aero bikes, they can get them to that weight where they can race aero bikes on mountain stages. I mean, I've seen some of the numbers, these things in wind tunnels compared to what we used to ride are huge. And the average speed of races, obviously, records get broken almost every race, the average speed. So you're constantly getting them aero gains. If you were to put someone like that, Poggy on, again, modern's a loose term, on a bike from 6-8 years ago, huge gap. Huge gap. The advance that bikes have made in the past 5-8 years, huge.
Yeah, I think if it's just the bike and he has the modern wheels, tires, skin suits and stuff, he probably could. But if you had the whole package from, say, 2015, 10 years ago, 2015, so the wheels that Ruvie had, the tires, the bike, the kit, be interesting then. He's got that much of a buffer these days, so it'd make it more level playing field. Maybe that could be a UCI rule. I don't know.
I'm going to say he wouldn't win.
Yeah?
He wouldn't win.
Yeah, I think...
I'm going to say...
No,
maybe if you put him at the bottom of a climb on the bike, man oh man, he could win on a 10k climb. But the accumulation of fatigue over every stage, stage one, whatever, say it's flat, his average power would be 15, 20 watts higher. And just the accumulation through 21 days, I think, would crack him. Poggy would not win on a bike from 10 years ago. Or even 8 years ago. Even 5 years ago. Great question, though.
That we'll never know the answer to.
Great question. No, I just said the answer, no. What do you think?
Mate,
you wouldn't.
Not the full package, nah. If it was just a frame,
No, when we say bike, we mean bike and wheels.
Wheels, tyres.
Yeah.
Because they make a huge difference, don't they?
Mate, you Tour de France, 2017, you won on tubs.
Yeah.
The rolling resistance.
Yeah.
Terrible.
No, yeah, I don't think he'd win the Tour against Jonas if he had. Yeah,
no chance.
No kit like that.
The more you think about it, no chance. No chance. No. It's advanced too much. No. Great question. That's my favourite one so far. Man and Emma have heard we're holding a Q&A episode, and they've also sent in some questions. Let's give them a listen.
Shamai, heard you doing a bit of Q&A, and we wanted to get some questions in. Mine is for G. I've heard on the grapevine that you're toying with the idea of doing an Ironman in the future. I also am.
No way.
Yeah, I feel like I just have this feeling that I want to do one. Ironman Wales specifically. And I was wondering if we should just put our big boy pants on and commit to actually doing one next year.
Mate, that's outrageous.
Well, I'd love to. And I've said I would. I want to. Because I need some goals and targets. But it seems quite soon, doesn't it, next year to do an Ironman? I think I'll go with the running first. See, if I can do London Marathon maybe in April. Maybe start a bit of swimming in the new year. But
you're not a bad swimmer, though. I remember.
Yeah, I used to swim a lot as a kid. So
yeah,
sod it. Come on. Yeah, I'll say I'll start doing some triathlons. Whether it's an Ironman next year, I'm not sure, but we'll see.
I was outside my house last week, and someone walking past with their dog, and they said, "I heard Geraint's going to do an Ironman." Walking his dog. That's all right, mate. I don't know. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I have been chopping saying that a lot, but need to back it up now, don't I?
Be careful, mate. Talk is cheap. You got to do it now.
Yeah. So
walk the walk. You got to talk the talk.
Be like terrible,
swimming.
I could do it. I'd back myself to just go and do it now.
No chance. Absolutely no chance.
That's big chat.
Just to get to the finish line.
Yeah. No.
Okay, bike easy. Swim. You'd finish the bike like pretty fatigued.
I could do 3.8k swim now, if I had to.
And then marathon.
And a marathon, yeah. No, maybe I would.
You'd crumble in the marathon.
Yeah, I might break down.
You'd get quarter of the way through a marathon, something would go. Like, your body's not durable enough for it.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Sorry, mate. I know you're a pretty good athlete, but I'm calling bullshit on that one.
Right, Luke.
My one's for Luke. So I was wondering, what's it like being on the other side of a bike race in the car? What's been the highlight, the best part about being in the car and the action? And what's been the worst part, the good and the ugly? I want to know details, yeah.
Best part was probably recently Paris Tours, actually, because it felt like we were getting somewhere as a team. The way we wanted to race as a team, as a unit, go around things the right way. We went there fully prepared, did a full recon, blah, blah, blah. And the race is rare that you plan a race and it goes as you want. Usually it all goes tits up at some point, and it didn't. So that was quite rewarding after, first year at it. And the worst part, I can't say one specific moment, but in general, it's the crashes. Because as a rider, you hear a crash, you see a crash. If you're not in it, if your teammate's not in it, you just go. And as a DS, you hear a crash. Are we involved? Yes, no, maybe. You deal with it. And then the cars go around the crash victims. But any crash victim who's not that badly hurt has already left. They're back on the bike, they got a new wheel, whatever it is, they're back off. So any crash victim you see is hurt quite badly. So, as soon as there's a crash, you see these people on the side of the road, and whoever they are, any team, any nationality, it's like, that's someone, it's a human being with wife, kids, son, daughter, whatever. And you just see them on the side of the road, battered, bruised, broken bones, bleeding, head split open, and it's just shit to see. And you kind of, in that moment, you're just like, you poor bastard, So definitely the crashes, because everyone you see is bad. Otherwise, they're gone.
Yeah, just see, it's always worse when you see it. When it's not you know how you feel, and you know if it's bad, like really bad or not. But just seeing someone there, just on the floor, like, it must be Yeah, not very nice.
And even as a rider, you're like, even if you do catch a glimpse of someone quite badly hurt, you're very quickly back into the race, right or wrong, thinking about yourself, about your own team, and like, oh, I got a job to do now. In the car, you've got that bit more time where, you know, you look, you check out the crash, and it's like someone in pain. Or I remember in Dunkirk seeing quite a few of your boys had a bad crash there. I seen Bob and Connor, and it's like, guys, you know, pretty
not nice. Yeah, here's another DS related one then. Jamie Chittock. How was your first year as a DS been? Is it as you expected? Have you enjoyed it?
I love it. Absolutely love it. More than I ever thought. And originally I thought, I'm going to go into this all guns blazing, give it everything I got. And if for any reason I don't like it or it doesn't work for my family, I'll stop. Because that's priority. And it's managed to all work well, cohesively. And I love it. It's probably I was probably a bit naive into what the workload is. It's a lot more than I thought. Like, there's not a day goes by where I'm not working in some capacity, whether it's calls or laptop, or I probably was quite naive in not really realizing how much work DS does. But it's it's like a full-time job every day. Calls, work on the computer, preparation, next week, next month, next year. But yeah, I love it. Love the process of it all.
Yeah, I've always said I thought you were be better at this. Is what you were born to do more than a rider, even.
Yeah, interesting.
I was just like, obviously a good rider, but the side that you were best at as a rider and the side you seemed to enjoy the most was the DS side, really. Not that you were DS on the bike, you know what I mean? That type of thing, like leading the group and like, a
bit different as a rider. Whereas a rider, I was quite in the moment. I'd say the biggest difference is like, what's my next race? What's tomorrow's training session? What's in a couple of weeks? You know, you got the next few months at most. But as a DS, you really got to like zoom out and just see the broad picture. Like, think, if he does that, what does that mean then? What does that mean for the next month? How will the back end of the season look? Then if he races China, where does he start next? It's just like...
Yeah, and then knock on.
You just zoomed out way more.
Yeah, knock on for the rest of the team as well, though, isn't it? Like, he comes out of this, who has to go in? What was he going to be doing there? Do we bring in a like for like? Or does it have to be like, you know, we're going to change the whole direction of this race? It's a lot, isn't it?
Mate, it's... Definitely I was naive. And also probably I didn't appreciate enough when I was a rider what the role of the DS did. You know, you turn up, you just... Yeah, that's, you know, everything just falls into place. You know, you just follow the plan, you go here, you arrive at the start at the right time. Some of the presentations I probably didn't give it enough time and look into as much as I should have, realising how much work gone into it. So yeah, an eye-opener, but yeah, I love it. I've got a question for you. This is off Kevin Wrigley, all the way from South Carolina, US of A. Hey guys, love the podcast. Congrats G on enviable career. Luke, I think the new book is finally available in the States. I can't wait. With all the countless cities, countries and hotels you two have stayed, has either of you had creepy or unexplainable occurrences, or know of any? Yes, I mean ghosts and paranormal type things. Cheers from the South Carolina, US of A. Gee, have you seen any ghosts?
No, to be honest. I guess the places we've seen the most likely to have ghosts is Tour Britain. Like back in the day when we used to go to like Scotland, stay in big manors. But like in France and stuff, it's normally just a campanile and a bit of a boring ghost to go and haunt a campanile, isn't it? Stayed in some ropey places, like, you know, school, university halls, and like, you know, in bunk beds, and, you know, Tour Swiss can be bad at times, like super hot, no aircon, staying in a bunk bed and you're just like, you're sweating away, or I don't know. Yeah. But with ghosts, I can't say. Do you believe in ghosts?
No, load of bollocks, mate.
I didn't, or don't. But when I spoke to Steve Peters and he was telling me how he believed in them and he thinks his house is haunted and stuff, I was like, from someone who's so logical and scientific and he believes in ghosts, they must be real. No?
No, ghosts. Casper. No. No. Ghosts. I think when you die, you get put in a hole and you rot and you're gone.
Oh, it's a joke.
It's quite bleak. Yeah, it's quite bleak, but in the hole, off you go. Jog on. I don't... Ghosts, come on, man.
All right, bring it up a level. Bring it up a notch. Ben J says, who's the most underrated teammate you've ever rode with?
Ooh, what a question.
For me, someone like Mikel Nieve, Frosty. The thing is, good domestics do get the credit in cycling because everyone knows it. But I think from the wider audience, I don't think, Frosty with those Sky years, how he did there, I don't think he ever got any plaudits for it.
No.
Someone like just there on the radar. Even someone like, I was going to say someone like Puccio or this type of rider that's just always good, always 85% of their best. From February to October, send him anywhere, doesn't complain.
Swifty, Hajduk.
Yeah. But Swifty he gets a bit of credit, doesn't he? Like, yeah, Kim, like he's clever, as in racing smart, he knows what to do. Those type of boys.
Neasy.
Yeah, he was just an engine, wasn't he?
I think our team, when we were Sky and Ineos, I would say it's one of few teams who did really give merit to their domestiques and support riders. So, guys like me, Stannard, Neasy, Puccio, Kim, I think we did get the merit you deserve for doing that role. So maybe we have to think outside of the team, who in other teams you go, wow, he does a good job, but nobody really knows it. In another team, perhaps. Because I feel like we did get the merit we deserved in... They made a thing of it in Sky and Ineos,
in the team, yeah. But I think in general, though, some of those guys didn't. On the telly or back home, and
Do you know? Not to name a name, but as an example, a lead-out man is only as good as his sprinter, right? So you can have the best lead-out man in the world with a sprinter who's not winning, do a great job. The sprinter doesn't win. The lead-out man gets no credit. And you can put an average lead-out man with the best sprinter in the world, they win, and they go, that guy, that was an amazing
I think he's
job.
Amazing.
Just an example for me. So I did some lead-outs for Cav in the first year of my career. In some smaller races, Cav won. Oh, Luke, amazing job. Amazing lead-out. You're a great lead-out man. Just because Cav makes you look good. And then on the flip side, a few years later, we had other sprinters join. We had Christopher Halverson, Lawless. We had Alia in the second part of his career, who was still winning, but not a superstar. You do the same job for them or better, and they don't finish it off and win. You don't get any credit. So I'd say a great lead-out man with a sprinter who's not winning is maybe undervalued or under-noticed.
Yeah. No, I agree, mate.
This was from Mr. Waterstones. Gee, where can people get signed copies of your book?
Well, tell Mr. Waterstones that in any good bookstores, especially Waterstones Bookshop, you can go and get my book now. Signed copies available. Great price, great read. You won't regret it.
Question from Molly, long-time listener, first-time caller here. I love the pod and I've really been enjoying what's occurring in Fems lately too. It's been so cool to see that take off. I've noticed that Eamon and Mana talk pretty regular about lifting as part of their training, and I realised that's not a topic that you guys have spoken much about. Is that a gender difference or a track versus road thing? Or was it an element of your training that just didn't really come up in conversation? Thanks and enjoy the off-season.
Well, we never spoke about lifting because we don't lift, basically, do we? Now it's come more and more into it, and I did start in the off-season. I had a little look at, doing a few squats and that, but started getting a bit of back and stuff, and I was just like, is this worth now the effort of doing it consistently as well? It's not like you just do it for a couple of weeks and then you just stop. It has to be a regular thing. And I was like, my last year of my career now, how much of an impact is it gonna make? And against the amount of commitment it is, with everything else that was going on and stuff. So decided that the answer was no. So that's why we didn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say very similar. In the back end of my year, it was back end of my career. We could start doing this. Dip my foot in the water. Wasn't for me. I remember you saying one day, thing is, I could do an hour of gym. But my mentality is just sack that off and do an extra hour on the bike. And I remember you saying it, and it stuck with me a little bit.
Yeah.
So I sacked it off and didn't do the extra hour on the bike. That's where I went wrong.
Extra hour in the calf.
Yeah, that's it, mate.
No, that's kind of how
Got
I always
sandwich named
was. Just
after me.
like,
It was worth it.
yeah. More time on the bike, more specifically what I wanted, but each to their own.
Right then, bud. That is a wrap. Thank you, everyone, for your questions. Some good ones in there. My personal favourite was the Poggy on an old school bike. I like that. So I'm going to give that some more thought. Maybe we can finish answering it on the next pod. But
It's probably an algorithm you can put together, mate. Now you're a DS.
Not smart enough for that. Send it to the tech team.
All right then, but well, have a good one. I'll catch you soon.
All right, see you later, bud. Nice one. Ta-da, boy.
Ta-da.